games. Welcome to Myers Sports of all sorts.
Good evening, everyone. It used to be that we'd put away footballs at the end of December, pick them back up in August. Well, that doesn't happen anymore. There's free agency, there's the draft, there's the schedule, there's off-season workouts, and of course, plenty of stories and speculation. And as far as the Bengal fans start to think about the 2010 season, they're wondering if this young and eager defense can continue to grow and improve. It has made great strides in the last couple of years, and it seems like the defense has taken to the philosophy and attitude of defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer and his defensive staff, who's with us tonight. It is a rare chance to spend an hour with the guy who oversees the Cincinnati Bengals defense, Mike Zimmer. Here's how you can talk to the coach tonight. Our hotline, 749-9999, or our email address is soas@wcpo.com. And I welcome in Mike Zimmer. Good to see you again.
Thanks, John, for having me.
Are you anything like a fan that watches the off-season? In baseball, they call it the hot stove league. I don't know what they call it in football. But there is still a build-up as you get back to training camp, whether it's the schedule, the draft, and everything. As you start to look at the pieces to put together as a coach, is there anxiousness about all that?
There really is. You know, you look at when the schedule comes out, that's kind of an interesting time because you got to figure out who you play and when you play them. Like this year, we play some of the top quarterbacks, and so we've been trying to figure out, well, how can we improve and when we go against these guys.
So when you see that you're gonna start off with well, whoever you got New England early, you got Joe Flacco in Baltimore early, and like you said, I think you have like 9 of the top quarterbacks early. Do you have to start thinking about your personnel rate then?
Yeah, you really do, and actually part of it, like this year, came out after the draft, and so before the draft, and so we were thinking about, as we're going into the draft, we already knew these teams that we're playing. You know, how can maybe a couple of these guys help us earlier this year?
Mike, we already know that the dominant story this week in town is going to be the arrival of Adam Jones, who's been known in Pac-Man as when he first came to the NFL. He's been regarded for many years as a good young talent who just got into too much trouble and got suspended for all of 2007. He didn't play at all in 2009, but got a couple of workouts for the Bengals. He's going to join the team this week for workouts. What did you like about him that you said, you know, you're obviously one of the guys, I guess, that helps make the decision in this process to feel that he can help the Bengals? Well,
he was a good player when he was young. He still is young. He's 26 years old. He's done some really good things for Tennessee when he was playing there on the field. Obviously gotten some problems off the field and has had his troubles that way. But you know, it was kind of a no-risk situation for us. A lot of our guys on defense are guys that have been on the street, guys that realize that this is their last chance. They may not have fit in somewhere else very well, and so we're kind of hoping that the rest of the guys that have been in the room downstairs with us can help him understand that, you know, this is the last shot. This is your chance here, and for some reason, you know, I've kind of dealt pretty good with those guys. I don't know why, but they seem to play pretty good.
Yeah, and you know, when your back's up against the wall, things change a lot.
Yeah, it really does, and if you're smart enough to figure it out, and hopefully he is. You know, we really don't know what we've got in him, and we're not counting on him to come in and be a starter. We're not counting on him to set the world on fire here. We just want to see if bring him into camp, bring him into OTAs, and see what he's got left, if he can help us, and if he can stay out of trouble, and if he's a good person and stay in line. You know, I've talked to him, Marvin's talked to him about all these things, and we'll just go from there.
When you did the tryouts, was the first thing you had to figure out is, can he make our team?
Yeah, and we still don't know if that's really the case, because you know, you put a guy through workouts and they go through some drills and do all those things, but you really don't know in the end. Now, when he was playing good when he was a rookie, first and second year, yes, he could make our team, but we're not counting on anything right now, and really I don't think we should. We've got so many guys that are coming back. We want to keep the nucleus of those guys, but every year is a new year. You know, one guy might get older, one younger guy might improve so much that he beats out an older guy, and so we really don't know what the roster is going to be at this point.
Yeah, Marvin's often been asked about the difference between the team of last year and 2005, and he says, you know, this team was far ahead of that team, and I've always thought about the same thing. Is there's a great deal of maturity down in that locker room right now. There are guys, you mentioned the guys that have been on the street, but there's also the guys that have been through the wars. And I don't think that they want to let anything, you know, there's a maturity that seems like it spills over to the other guys that are coming in.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that I really felt good about our players that we have in the defensive meeting room, they're a bunch of strong character guys. They just want to play. They want to play hard. They want to do the right thing. They want to be team players. And you know, if we had a bunch of renegades down there, then I would maybe feel different about this thing. But I really feel good about our leadership that we have on defense.
Okay, we open up the phone line. Before we go on, I gotta mention, last year at this time when you came in, your wife Vicki came with you. It was my one chance. Of course, we all learned, and everybody was saddened by your untimely death months later. I didn't know you were coming in at Mother's Day. And I'm just wondering, with the children and everything, how you guys have been able to cope with that, and frankly, how you intertwined it in with football and did everything what you've had to do since.
Well, today was kind of a hard, it was a hard weekend this weekend, and I don't know why. You know, I guess I was feeling a little sorry for myself, but you know, during the football season we had lots of support and everybody was around, and I was so busy and spent a lot of time trying to figure out how I can help the girls and help my son Adam, and you know, with the downtime now it's a little bit tougher, but I'll get busy again here pretty soon, and that'll help. That'll help a lot. Okay. You know, I think that guy should have started a fight that, you know, before he hit the home run, that pitch. Yeah. Yeah, back in the old days, that'd have started a fight, wouldn't it?
Oh, it easily would have. Rich writes in on an email, the defense is much improved. I love the aggressive style coach has brought to the team. What ideas does he have to create more pass rush this season?
Well, that's one of the things we're working on. We've got, I think it is, there was 10 quarterbacks that threw for over 4,000 yards this year in the NFL. It's a record, and I believe that we play 6 of those 10, and so it's going to be very important with the schedule that we have. You know, we've already started working on some of the techniques of turning the defensive line loose. I know I said it a little bit last year, but even putting some calls in there where we're not even concentrating on playing the run. And then some of the things we want to, you know, we're looking at some different packages where we can maybe have 5 defensive linemen in at one time, or sometimes 6 defensive linemen in at one time. So really all we try to do is get mismatches. If we can get a mismatch with one of our big guys on a back, we feel like we should win, and or one of our linebackers on a back. And so, you know, when you blitz, you're never, very rarely, unless you blitz them all, are you going to get free runners. But if we can get a better mismatch, this guy who can defeat that guy, that's really what we're looking for. Okay, let's go to the phones, and Tyrone in Madisonville. Tyrone, you're on Meyer Sports of All Sorts.
Yes, Papa. What's going on?
Okay, thanks for calling.
I called last week, got on. And I was just making a couple comments about the Bengals. Mike.
Go ahead.
With the addition of Pac-Man Jones, like you said, he'd probably be played sparingly. You know what I mean? Like on certain stats, defensive, you know, stats or whatever. Kickoff returns, punt returns. But you guys were ranked 5th in the NFL last year in defense. I look for that to go up, you know, further than that. And I'd like to see a 12-4 season, something like that, if we can do it. With the comments on next year in the defense.
Just a 12-4 season, that's all, Mike.
Well, we were 4th too, anyway. Yeah. But we play, you know, like I said, we play a much harder schedule. You know, we did some good things last year, but you know, really, we got to forget about last year. We got to get going on this year. And like I said about Adam Jones before, we really don't know what he's going to do, and so putting him in certain packages, you know, it's not really conducive to think that way at this point in time. We'll figure all those things out later. Yeah.